I was thinking when I was in my youth. Well, I'm still in my youth, but when I was when I was like, maybe after I'm done this school thingy-majig, I finally can never learn again. Finally, I don't have to do homework. Finally, I don't have to do this all things that I don't care about, right? And Seth Godin is one of the person who I listen to for a lot of things. When what he said, I'm probably gonna leave the link in the description where he talked about school and the system. And so I think that you should go to school for experience, just learn the basics. But when we were a kid, we don't know any better because we listened to parents. Nothing wrong with them. The parents trying to give their kid a better future, to win in life or to have a better future. I think that's a very they come from a very caring place. It's not it's because we've been programmed, but parents don't understand oftentimes that this system. Now, when years ago, I never understand about the system that the rich people build for people who are working for the rich, as Robert Kiyosaki said, right? I never understood it back when I was in middle school, elementary school, high school. I never understood. Even boarding school, I never understood. Why do we have to get a job, go to school, get good grades? Why do we have to do all these things to become successful? But what is success exactly? So many of the successes, the tests, the A's. What does this all mean? Why do we have to get A's so we can get GPAs and try to get top of the class and get into good school? Why do we have to do this? We were taught to go. We were programmed to have a career, but why do we need a career? So we can please our parents or to please? But oftentimes we forget about ourselves. School let the outside result dictate our how we function as a human being in the mind, right? I think that all of the things, like, I'm not against. For me, I had really good time and bad time in school, but I hated most of the time because I wanted to tell the story where in middle school I oftentimes try not to go to school, and I try to I would sleep in the morning, and then I would try to pretend I'll be late in school and try to go to the bathroom and then come out and try to miss my bus. But anyway, I think that school is good for the who you're going to become. I think that school don't teach us the things that one, it doesn't come from a spiritual background. I think that you need a spiritual foundation, not the religion. People say that's what religion is for, but religion doesn't incorporate that very well. It's every system has its time, and the system will fail. Just like a business, big business will go out of business. I remember back then, back then they had Blockbuster. Now they have what people stream online. What was it? They have Netflix now. Come on, man. So Seth Godin talked about how school teaches you to fit in, to get straight A's, and be indoctrinated by the system, and be a cog in a machine. So I'm going to read this, what he said. Indoctrination, how we get here. Mediocre obedience. We've been taught to be replaceable cog in a giant machine. We've been taught to consume as a shortcut to happiness. We've been taught not to care about our job or our customers, and we've been taught to fit in. None of these help you to get what you deserve. We've been We bought into a model that taught us to embrace the sense, to spend for pleasure, and to separate ourselves from our work. We've been taught that this approach worked, but it doesn't, not anymore. And this disconnect keeps us from succeeding, cripple the group of our society, and make us really stressed. People are really stressed. So I want to talk about a lot of things that so school doesn't teach you, well, at least the things I know, it doesn't give you the incentive, right, to become better. It gives you why you should get better. It comes from a background of a very competitive place, but it doesn't really give you like why, like give you, for people, in order to do better. Some people do well by financial means. They're there for the money. Others are there for the craft. Other people are there for like me as a person. I need to grow as a person. If I'm not growing, to hell with that. Like some bullshit. Like it doesn't mean anything. If you're not growing as a person, you're not very happy. You need a place to measure your progress. Yeah, but oftentimes school doesn't. I never talk about this. I got held back many times back in elementary school. I think I got held back from, I think, first or second grade. I can't remember. But I'm not really good at most things in school. I just don't, because I care about having fun. I always care about having fun. If it's not fun, why do it, right? Reading is for fun. But I think that we often give the students or the kids the wrong ideas about why they should learn, why they should have an education. We should have a put incentive. We should give them an idea that if you learn and have an education, not only your life will get better, everything else will get better. I think that's what the mindset we have to have, that if we must have an education, then where it's going to take us will serve us the best, many times over, right? We don't talk about that. We talk about, if you don't do this, we put pressures and punishment that why students should get grades and stuff like that. But often grades, Robert Kiyosaki talk about that oftentimes school, when you leave out of school, right, they don't, you don't even use your grades anymore. You don't use your report card. They don't care about your report card. They only care how you're going to perform and your results that matters, right? And so now I just heard and watch Patrick and David talk about how, or I think either Google or Apple, I don't remember. They stopped trying to hire for what's it called? Your degrees. Robert Kiyosaki talk about, I think it's either him. He talked about degrees mean shit. A lot of people hype up with the degrees. It's just a piece of paper with ink on it, just like money, right? And so school doesn't teach you how to serve, how to solve problems, except school teaches us to fit in like everybody else. See, most kids don't even aware that they look around. Like, how can you learn from other kids? You can only go so far, but if you learn from a mentor or you learn somebody ahead of you, your life is just more better that way. I think that's what Ty Lopez and Dan Locke talk about, that if you if they get taught by mentors, they'll learn faster. But school teaches you just the mundane stuff, that the basic math over and trying to go up the algebra and all that. We don't even use that. Only the basic math, yes, but the skills that we need to improve our life, it's not there. Like, it's never talked about. And so Seth Godin said in the book Linchpin, he said, as soon as it's part of the system is not an art. Artists shake things up. They invent as they go. Artists can't easily instruct and be predicted or measured. Yeah, I have a lot to say about the educational system. So, the educational system, what's his name? Seth Godin talked about that you rarely use in your life. Most of the I wish I was aware that when I was a kid, okay? When I was a kid, maybe around 10 or 11 or maybe 15 even matter, pick up a book and read like self-help and improve my life. But no, school doesn't do that. School forces you. Like, nothing wrong. Okay, for me, nothing wrong with reading graphic novels or manga. For me, when I was a kid, I read manga. But nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with novels. But to improve our life, we need some strategy to improving our life. We need strategy to improve our social skills. If we don't have that, like if we are anxious, nervous, or we're like an introvert, don't know how to socialize with people, we need that skill set. People said that's what school for. But then again, some of my peers, some of my friends might not be, they might be shy and they don't know how to talk. I was like that. I don't know how to talk to people when I was a kid. Sure, I hang with friends, but that's because they are familiar. They were the same as I am, but I was more like a fucking weirdo. I start running around in the hallways screaming and yelling. I don't know what the hell was that doing. Anyway, because I guess I needed like attention. But anyway, school. As Bob Proctor said, school should have education. If you take out the yuko, meaning is to induce, to draw out, to develop from within. So if we teach